welcome to Climate Takes. This episode is Climate Takes 2024. We'll be taking a look back at this year for Carbon13 and a look ahead to 2025. I'm delighted to be joined by Michael and Nicky, the co-founders of Carbon13. Nicky is the CEO and Michael is Chief Strategy Officer. Hello guys, how are you doing?
Morning. Yeah, well,
hello,
thanks.
Good morning.
Okay, guys, we're going to start with a quick fire round. Okay, Michael, you go first, and then we'll do Nicky. Michael, what's been the biggest wahey moment this year?
I think, for me, there was the start of the last cohort was just again having a new cohort start in Berlin and then starting at almost at the same time in Cambridge and seeing these two groups of people, and both of them just incredibly impressive individuals in two of these cohorts. There's 80 people in each cohort, and I think now towards the end of the year we have now over 50 teams working on different climate solutions, which is just amazing. Just the pure energy in that room, but also the potential that will come from that.
Exactly. Nicky, best event?
Best event. So Michael's just spoken about some of the ones with the cohorts, but actually the other one that sticks out in my mind is our company day, which we had earlier in the summer. And it was just brilliant having the team together. The sun was shining and hearing all of the ideas for, what we want to achieve going forward was brilliant.
100%. I really enjoyed it.
Right.
Okay. We're going to move into looking at the year. It's been a joy this year for Carbon13 to work with Barclays Eagle Labs. How do you think this year has gone for our work with them?
Yeah, it's so Barclays have been a partner of ours for a little while now, and I think there's something about working with an organisation over a period of time. It really helps us to understand their priorities and obviously for them to understand ours. Barclays have been on their own journey, making stronger commitments to climate, which is fantastic. And I feel like we're very much a key part of that. So yeah, it's a flourishing partnership that's able to support some really fantastic ventures.
I'm looking forward ahead to 2025 with another venture launchpad with Barclays. A highlight for me this year was we won the Growth Investor Award, Team of the Year for investing in women, and I think a large contribution to that was a couple of other partners as well. Nicky, would you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So yeah, that was a really nice moment, and thank you for putting the application in, Sarah. We've done, look, something like that doesn't come from one thing alone. So we as Carbon13 have been, we're not necessarily very vocal on this at all times, but it's a core part of our mission to make sure that we have diversity in our teams, and that allows us to bring new perspectives on how we solve climate change. And our partners very much buy into that. So Barclays is one. They're very supportive of it. Maybe Michael, you could talk about Siemens Energy.
Yeah, happy to. We realized that there's just a lot of other people. We realized that bringing together different partners and supporting this kind of initiative to bringing more women into climate tech, if we can bring in partners, then this makes our initiative stronger. And Siemens Energy, we had been talking about a partnership for a while and realized that there's a very strong connection around this topic of bringing more women into climate tech. And Kendra, the managing partner of Siemens Energy Ventures, she was right away when we mentioned that to her, she was right away excited that they could support that. And we've been doing that now in coming up with a third cohort. So we started with the last one. And then, we're now very excited about other ways to also expand that partnership. So, for example, obviously there's also around the kind of startups that we support and the kind of expertise that Siemens Energy has and also invests in as Siemens Energy Ventures. There's a strong overlap in terms of the energy transition, and other startups that might need a physical element of their business and might need to, for example, do a fork, like a first of a kind plant. And this is something where Siemens Energy Ventures is also very strong in, and we can see a lot of potential long term.
Yeah, and then the other partner is Arm, who are based in Cambridge. So Fiona at Arm has been in, and the wider team, been very supportive. They actually helped us in doing some independent research of how people experience the Carbon13 program, and if we need to be thinking about other things that we can do. So I expect we'll be releasing some of the findings from that next year. And of course, you yourself, Sarah, you did some work earlier in 2024 where you were able to speak to some of our founders. And again, how do we package that up in a way that not only benefits our founders, but also externally as people are considering what pathways they want to take. And then the final one is HSF, so Herbert Smith Freehills, who again have been offering support.
Yeah, especially around the supporting teams with at the early stages around what kind of documents should I be looking at? How do I even incorporate my business? And all of these kind of steps where you could use a lawyer, but maybe as an early stage startup, you don't have the money to pay for a lawyer. So having some kind of pro bono work from Herbert Smith Freehill was very great. And Dylan, our contact there, he's been with us actually for quite a while now as a partner as well. So we're happy with that.
I think in a way, 2024, it's been the year of the ecosystem strengthening in a way. I think every other week, I feel like we're working with another organization and to support the ecosystem in the UK and Germany, because the partners that we've mentioned are based both in Germany and Cambridge, and it is part of how we operate to build that bridge between the UK and the EU and beyond.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably mention that we've had a series of announcements at the end of this year from Earthshot, obviously being a nominator on that, Geovation, where we've been doing some events in their spaces and working a bit more closely with their team. Tech Space would be the other one, which spans both the UK and Germany, and also is now offering some co-working space to our ventures. And then we have, in the broader ecosystem, other programs that we're able to plug into. So when ventures leave our programs, they have other places to go.
And we're going to kick off the year with 2 amazing showcase days. If you're an investor in climatech, you should definitely reach out if you haven't signed up to our demo day. So the Climate Innovation Showcase Days in Cambridge, which is now taking place in London in late January, as well as in Berlin, and both of them are hosted by Google, which has been a really strong partnership for us as well.
Exactly. We'll be sharing the links to our January events. What's our take on 2024 for climate tech in general?
I think 2024 was a difficult year still. Like, we're still coming out of a period where obviously 2020, 2021, there was a lot of investment. I think a lot of companies had to almost grow into the kind of valuations that they had raised in earlier. And also there's been a slight shift towards more AI focused businesses. I think that's been sort of the buzzword of the year for a lot of VCs. I think 2025 is very exciting about the possibilities. Like, we know there's a lot of businesses that really have been making progress and are coming up to a really strong growth round in the next 18 months or so. That's maybe some bits for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's as ever, there's been some big geopolitical events. Some of the things that some of the notable things are COP29. We finally had some agreement on Article 6, which allows countries to work together to address emissions. So that met with some excitement, but also some disappointment. I see it as a step on a good pathway, because we need to get climate finance in better shape. And it also opens up a huge number of opportunities for entrepreneurs. Kita, one of our ventures, is very much in the heart of that space, but taking a data-driven approach so that we can have high-integrity carbon offsets. The other big news was the US elections. That's raised questions on the IRA, so the Inflation Reduction Act. And my expectation is we will see some aspects of that stay, other parts go. We also had an election in the UK, and we're still trying to understand what that means for various different sectors and activities. And then the other thing, just relating back to AI, I've heard a lot of people talking about the EU AI Act, which is very interesting. Some perspectives that it may harm us in the short term, but be beneficial long term. Other people think it's, anyway, I think there's questions to be raised for 2025 and AI businesses and where they wish to locate.
Yeah, I would add, I feel this year I increasingly see a lot more circular economy startups who are trying to find the value in the supply chain, looking at previously products that would be waste and to see if we can derive a value from them. And I think a glimmer of hope for me as well is, and you've mentioned this, Nicky, the intersection between hardware and AI as well, that combination. So I think that's probably the research I'll be doing over my Christmas break, is understanding in more detail the relationship between understanding hardware and the intersection of AI, with the two together. I think would be my recommended Christmas research.
I remember in 2022, we started looking into that sort of triangle of founders, because obviously that's where we come in. It's like the founder level, and you have this idea of a scientist and machine learning AI person and a commercial person, and having those three together. And we have quite a few examples in our cohorts where Samudra Earth, who on this podcast, obviously, where you have a data person, commercial person, actually in one person in that case, and then a scientist and another team that is just about to close around, working on the intersection of sort of optimization experiments in the biotech industry and AI, and again, bringing those together. I think there's a lot of opportunity, and you'll see a lot of teams from Carbon13 having sort of being at the very early stages of that and sort of starting to make waves in 2025 and beyond.
We saw our 1,000th founder go through our program this year, as well as our 10th program start. And applications are open for our 11th and 12th programs, with our accelerator opening up not long after that. So I'm so excited to see the amazing people who are going to join the Carbon13 community from that. If you know anybody who still wants to fight the climate emergency through a startup, please refer them to us. We're very welcoming. We'll have a chat and take them through everything that we do. Okay, that's all my questions. Any last words that you would like to add?
I think the last one is, this is a new thing for us, Sarah. So why are we doing Climate Takes?
We're doing Climate Takes for lots of different reasons. I think we admire the work our founders do, and they have such interesting stories to tell. So we want to make sure the world knows about the work that they're doing. But more than that, we want to say this is why climate tech entrepreneurship is necessary, and then why it works, and then why it should have resources allocated to it. So it's also looking at people's takes on the industry and problem space that they are working in from a founding and investment perspective. But it's still a call to arms as well. What is climate going to take to fight the climate emergency? We need to keep the momentum going in the right direction. And so this podcast has a part to play in that.
Nice.
Okay.
Cool. That's Climate Takes 2024. We are very much looking forward to 2025. And from everybody at Carbon13, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. See you on the other side.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
And happy holidays.